class, okay, class in Python, then how to create a static method, okay, and a non-static method. And what is static and non-static? Okay, that we'll understand. So static method, non-static method, uh, local variables, okay, local variables, and class variables, okay, class variables, and how to access them, how to access methods. Okay. So first of all, let's understand what is a method. Okay. So in case of any language, okay, any programming language, we have majorly two things. One is variable, and another one is method. Okay. So variable is used to store, okay, used to store values. Okay, any value. Okay, used to store values. So it's a memory space. Whereas method is nothing but a function. Okay, it performs, okay, it performs a particular function. Okay, but then the question is why to create a method and why not to go with the entire logic in a particular class only, in a sequence way, right? But then we are creating a method so that method is nothing but a block, okay, block of statements. It consists of multiple statements, okay, which can be called again and again. Okay, say for example, you want to read an Excel sheet. Okay, you want to read an Excel sheet. Excel sheet. So it would be having or consisting of 10 lines of code. Okay, it would be containing or consisting of 10 lines of code. So if I want to read a particular Excel sheet like XYZ, okay, XYZ, then I will be passing it as a parameter in this method, and this method is going to run this 10 lines of code for reading that Excel sheet. If I again have another Excel sheet, say for example LMN, so then again this 10 lines of code will work for that particular Excel sheet and will read that Excel sheet. So this 10 lines of code I don't have to repeat again and again. There can be n number of Excel sheets. So I don't have to write this particular 10 lines of code in repetition. Okay, it's only written only once, but it can be called as many times as you want. Okay, so that is the benefit of a method. Okay, that is the benefit of a method. Okay, so this is the basic difference. Variable is used to store values, and method performs a particular function which can be called again and again for performing that particular function. Okay, so let's see how to create a class in Python. Okay, and how to create these things. Okay, so let me go over here and I'll say, so right click on you can right click on this package and Python file. You can say my class. You can give any name. Okay, I'm giving my class. I need to change it. Okay, day 7. Okay, let me refactor it and rename it. So I'll make it as day 7. Okay, refactor. Okay. So simply for creating a class, okay, you just have to mention class, okay, class and then class name. Okay, you can say my class. You can give any name. I'm giving over here my class. Okay, so class and then my class. Okay. You can have any variable defined x is equal to 10. Now this is nothing but your class variable. This is your class variable. So this particular class variable is or can be accessed anywhere inside the entire class. Okay, it can be accessed anywhere inside the class. So x is equal to 10 that way. Now, if you want to, so variables we know how to create a variable. Okay, just by saying a name and then assignment operator and then value. Value can be anything. It can be integer, string, boolean, okay, any value. So this is a class variable. Now, how to create a method or a function? See, in case of Python, there is a difference between method and function. Okay, function. Okay, there is a difference between method and function. So if you create a function, or if you create a if you create a function within the class, okay, inside the class, then it's called as a method. Okay, if you create a function inside a class, then it's called as a method. Whereas if you create a function outside the class, or it is independent, the way we have created these things now, this is not contained inside a class. This is just direct statements or code. So if we create any function over here itself, okay, without any class created, then it will be called as a function. Writing part, syntax wise, it's all same. The only difference is inside a class or without a class. Okay, that. So how to create a function or how to create a method? You just
So will
mentioned
you
it.
please repeat the difference? Which one
Sorry.
is function and which one?
Yeah, function
Can you
is,
please repeat?
yeah. Let me see. So function is, uh, I'll say function only. Okay, function without a class definition. Okay, without the class definition. So if you are not having any class mentioned in your program, and you are but still you are creating a function, or you can say you are creating a method, okay, then it will be called as a function. Whereas okay, method is okay, function within a class definition. Okay, method within, or you can say function within a class definition. That is a basic difference between function and method. Okay, that. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now how to create it? So you can just say def, okay, define, it's like def, and then you have to give the name of your function. So I'll say my underscore function, and so this parenthesis. Now this self, it will automatically come whenever you write this parenthesis. Now this self keyword will automatically come. What this self denotes? Self denotes instance of the same class. Okay, self denotes instance or object of the same class. Let me write it down over here. Okay, self denotes instance or object of the same class. Okay, denotes instance or object of the same class. Okay, the way we have, if you know Java, okay, in Java we have this keyword. Okay, this keyword, and super is for parent class. This is for current class instance. Okay, this keyword is for current class instance. Okay, whereas super is for parent class instance. Okay, instance is nothing but object. So in case of Python we have self, and for parent class we have super only. Okay, so self means instance or object of the same class. And we will create object also. We'll understand how to create an object also. So you have created a function. This is a simple function. I'll say print, and okay, I'll make it a static. Okay, I'll make it a static. So for static, you just have to mention static method at the rate static method for making that function static. Now, what is a static method? A method accessed with the name of class. Okay, if you are accessing, or okay, if you are accessing that method with the class name, okay, that is a static method. So static means it the, what you say, the definition is constant for each and every class object. Okay, generally static is creates a difference for variables in case of Java, but in Python you can differentiate in a way that function can be called with the name of class, whereas a non-static method has to be called by the object of the class. Okay, let me write it down over here. So static method, okay, static method is accessed, or you can say accessed or called with the okay, with the help of a class name. The help of a class name. This is one thing. And then non-static method, okay, is accessed or called with the help of instance of a class name. Instance of a class name. Okay, with the help of instance of a class name. Right. Okay, this is the basic difference between static method or non-static method. So I'll say this is a static method. This is a static method. Okay, this is static method. Simple. So this is one method. Okay, you have to make sure the indentation is proper. Okay, this method is inside a class, so class is starting from here. Your method should start from here. Okay, that indentation should be there. And this print statement, if it is part of this method, then it has to be again having an indentation. So that is important. Again, for a simple method, okay, simple method, I'll say my function and I'll say my static function. Let me say my static function. Okay, and so over here my function. Okay, print this is a non-static method. Okay, non-static method. That's it. Okay, this is our non-static method and this is our static method. So to call a static method, okay, to call a static method, we can just call with the name, class name. Okay, what is the class name? My class, and you can just say the class name dot, okay, and then you can see my static function. Okay, and if you want to create, if you want to access this, no, this method or this function, you have to create an object of the class. Okay, you have to create an object of the class. So how to create an object of a class? Simply you have to say, okay, you have to give the name of class name, and then this class is going to return you a instance of the class. So you can say my class, okay, and c is equal to this. So this particular instance is storing the, okay, instance of this class, or you can say reference of the class is stored in this object. You can say MC as object, instance, okay, reference, you can give any name. So you can give any name, reference, or you can say object, or few people say instance. So anyone, okay, any name can be referred or given to that particular thing. Then if you want to access, you can say MC dot, okay, and then you can say my function. That's it. So you are calling this particular function. Let's run this program and see if it is accessible or not. So current file and execute it. Okay, my static function, what is the case? Is missing one required position is self. We have given self, right? My class, okay. What is the issue? Over here it's self or what? No, no. My class dot my static function over here. Okay, self over here. No, right? Yeah. So self won't come over here. Actually, by default, when you say when you create a method, na, the moment you give parenthesis, okay, self is going to come over here. So the reason, okay, the reason self won't come over here is that the current self is the current instance of the class. Okay, self is the current instance of the class. I have mentioned over here. Self denotes instance or object of the same class. Whereas static, in case of static, okay, it it is not accessed. Static method or static variable is not accessed with the instance. Instead, it is accessed with the help of class name. So it does not have any relation with the instance. So that is the reason self is not part of your static function. Okay, that's why we're getting that error. Okay, so you can say this is a static method. This is called over here. This is called over here. Okay, my static function. And with the help of the object, this is how you create an object. Okay, just class name, and class is giving you reference, and that you are storing in this variable, or not variable, reference or instance. And with the help of instance, you are calling a function, non-static function. So in case of non-static function, self will come, but in case of static function, self won't come. That we have to. Otherwise, by
What
default,
is one usage
yeah,
here? One usage about this static method.
one usage basically I'm using it now. I'm using or calling it. So that's why one usage is coming over here. Even if you see there are two usages, right? So I'm calling it. That's the reason. So one usage is over here. Second usage is over here. That's it. If I remove now one portion, if I comment this, okay, let me comment this. Save it. See, it will say one usage instead of two usage. Got it? So usage is like if in the code if you have used that now, so accordingly it will be same. So you have called this method, okay? You have called this method over here. So there is one usage. You have called this method over here. So there is one usage. It will come automatically. You don't have to write it. It will come automatically.
Yeah.
Clear with this part, guys? How to create a class in Python? And there is no curly braces. You just have to give colon, and then with indentation you have to mention that whatever you're writing is part of the class or not. Okay, with indentation you have to mention it. Okay, now let's understand. This is a method or function which is not currently have any parameter. Okay, this is not a parameter. This is a you can say mm, this is just a instance. It will come automatically. Now, if I want to say like def, okay, def, I'll say my function name. Okay, let's say printing the name. So I'll say name. Okay, and print name is and whatever be the name is, I'll pass. Okay, so this is a parameter. This is a parameter. Okay, you don't have to give any data type. Definitely, you just have to give the name. And when you say mc dot, you have this. Okay, so and you pass some name. Say for example Ravi. Okay, and then run this. So you can say name is Ravi. So this method or this function will be called, okay, will be calling this particular function. So it will be matching with the name, and this Ravi will go over here in name. Okay, this Ravi will be allocated to this name variable, and then it will be printing it over here. So this is how you are printing the or you are accessing a function with a parameter. So parameter, this is a local variable. Okay, this name is a local variable. Name is a local variable. Okay, name is a local variable. Fine. Now over here also.
Sir, hello. Can you explain me my class dot my type function you can
This
this
one,
thing?
this one. So this
8
particular
line,
function,
please.
yeah, this function. Before that, we have just mentioned this annotation, that is at the rate static method. So
Okay.
by writing this annotation, we are actually saying that this particular function is a static method. Okay, this method is a static
This is
function.
breaking. Yeah.
Okay,
Hello.
is it clear? Is my voice clear now?
No, your voice is breaking so in between.
Okay. What about other guys? Are you guys able to hear me properly? Yeah, Pallavi and Pratik, you guys are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Bhavani, that could be an issue related to internet from your side. Just check if you are having a
Yeah, okay.
Wi-Fi connected because I'm connected
Yeah,
to
yeah. Now
Wi-Fi.
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah. Now I can hear you, sir.
Okay, fine, fine. So what I was saying, if you write this annotation na, at the rate static method, okay, at the
Okay.
top of any function, whatever function you are defining,
Okay.
if you are saying at the rate static method, okay, at the rate static method.
Okay.
So in that case, that particular function can be accessed with directly by the class name. Generally, generally whenever we create a function, we have to access that function with the help of object or instance of the class. See, we have created an instance of the class, right? This is the instance
Mm-hmm.
of the class, right? So if you want
Yes.
to access any function, you have to access with the object. But over here, this static function is accessed with the class name directly.
Okay.
So
Got
say for
it.
example, if I create another class, if I create another class, or there are another five four classes with me, and in that particular class, if I want to access this particular method, then definitely this is a static method. I can directly call with the name of the class. Otherwise, if this is not a static method, otherwise I have to create the object of this class in that another class. Okay, it could be any class. So I have to create an object of the class and then I have to access.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not possible. So that is a basic difference between accessing. Accessing wise, there is a difference between static and non-static method in case of Python.
Okay.
Okay, clear? Understood this
Okay,
part?
sir. Yeah.
And over here, if you see, this function is taking a parameter that is name as a parameter. So whatever value you are passing as a parameter, as a value, okay, as a value in double quotes, you are passing a value. Okay, so this is nothing but a string. So this string is going over here and getting stored over here in name, and then we are printing the name. Okay,
Okay.
so you are accessing directly with that particular variable. So this name is nothing but a local variable. It can be accessed within the scope of this function name. Okay, that particular variable can be accessed within the scope of the function name, not outside that function. Okay, sure. Now we'll create another function. Okay, I'll say my function name default. Okay, let's say default. Now what I want to say with default as a name equals, let's say Ravi. I'm saying Ravi as a default name. So print, okay, print, and I'll just copy this. Just copy this. So what is the meaning of this function definition in Python? So define my function name default. I have created this new function having name as a parameter, but then I'm assigning a value also to that variable. Okay, I'm assigning a value to that variable and then I'm printing that name. So if I'm calling that function, okay, my function name default, this one. Okay. So if I'm calling this function without passing any value, I'm not passing any value. Okay, I'm not passing any value. So if I don't pass any value, then it's going to print the default value which I have assigned. Okay, so let's say name is Ravi. Okay, but what if I say I pass some value that is Sita? Okay, let's consider that, and then I'll run this. So name is Sita. So if I am passing a value, okay, then this name will be overridden, and then that particular name will be printed. But if we are not passing any value, then it's going to take the default value. So this is a default value. Okay, so that is a basic difference between parameters and how the values can be accessed. I hope this is clear. How to pass or how to create a function with a parameter and parameter with default values. You can have any number of parameters. Okay, I have created only one parameter. Okay, this is called as parameter, and this is a value. You are passing a value. Okay, so you can have any number of parameters in a function. Self will always be there. Self will always be there. Self denotes the object or instance of the same class. Okay, so this is all about how to create a class and how to create a static method, non-static method, non-static method with name parameter, default values in name parameter. Okay, that. Okay, so I'll stop this.